Hello, everyone. I am Paul Brentley, and I am here to talk about the way you look, not the way you feel, for my communications video in Communications 231. So, as I started on this paper, we were given the options to talk about whatever we wanted to do and how we felt in today's societies, the problems. I know my friend talked about suicide. Another one talked about the election that's going on and things like that. So I chose to go the route of how society makes you feel like you need to look and how we as the people think we should. So as a teenager living in this world, social media is very prevalent. You cannot escape it. It's everywhere you go, whether it's on TV, on your phone, your iPads, your computers, etc. So when you go on Instagram or you go on Twitter or Facebook and you see these models or you see these people who are rich and have these lavish lifestyles and have the time to work out 24/7 in the gym or have the face of a Victoria's Secret model, then that hurts your self-esteem sometimes because society believes that everyone should be tall, blonde-headed, blue eyes, have abs, and things like that. Um, Me as a kid, I've always worn glasses. That's always been a thing I've had to deal with through my life. And I have a condition with my eyes called nystagmus. And what it does, it just means the muscles in my eyes are weak and need to be repaired. So growing up, that was always an issue with kids. They would ask me, why do your eyes do that? Because my eyes would shake a lot. Why do you wear glasses, and things like that. And that gets to someone a lot of times, especially if you can't fix the problem. My nystagmus was something that I just had to live with. And my eyesight is not particularly the best. So that's something I've had to face and struggle and constantly have to deal with. And so things like that, I would go on and I would look at someone who didn't have to wear glasses, even if they were at my school, and people portrayed that as that's what everyone needs to look like. I have a friend who's really short, and she has always been picked on about that, being the shortest person in her class, or whether it was, she shorty or things like that. And so she would tell me that she used to wear heels every day to school because she hated being called short. And so those heels would give her a little bit of support. And eternally, she was not truly being herself. People go to lengthy decisions in order for them to look the certain way that they feel like they should look, whether that be plastic surgery, or that's like my friend wearing heels, not wearing your glasses even though you can't see without them, and things like that. Society wants you to believe that you have to mold yourself, kind of, and shape yourself into that person that you are dreaming about. A lot of that is prevalent in pop culture and in the music industry. The women of the music industry feel like they have to wear little to nothing. They have to have the biggest assets in order for men and women to be attracted to them and for their music to sell, versus actually truly doing their craft and what they're supposed to do and sell really good music. And that goes the same within the modeling industry. We hear all the time about models going on these crazy diets to stay super skinny. Otherwise, the line of clothing won't hire them. And it's sad to say, how many Victoria's Secret models do we see that are plus size, or not even necessarily overweight, but a regular size? Their waistlines are 0 to 4. So things like that are very noticeable in today's society, and it's almost as if it's the new norm, which is really bad. Because I remember, and I'm still growing up, I remember when I was younger that it was all about curves. That was the new thing. Women who had curves, they were the socialites at that time, and now it's, if you don't have that stick line figure, then people necessarily don't want you. And it's really more so bad for women than it is for men, because through the course of time, women have been told to look a certain way, to dress a certain way, and to look a certain way for men to like them, which again is not good, and that goes into a whole nother era, which I will not talk about. And another thing about that is that women have that self-esteem issue a lot of times in their already mentality, that they say, if I don't look this way, then that guy's not gonna like me. If I don't have this certain waistline, or have this certain size, or have this certain figure, then no one's going to like me and truly appreciate me. And that's one thing that society has dug into women and into little girls nowadays. I mean, we see little girls and 5-year-olds, they wear short shorts and crop tops and things that, you know, and my time, not my time, and when I was younger, that you wouldn't usually see. And not to say necessarily that those clothing styles are bad, but what are we showing our children and our siblings what they should do? You know, and again, it all goes back to social media and how much social media plays such a huge part in things like this. It goes to the point of when you look in an image, and as you're scrolling through your images on Instagram and you see these beautiful models, or you see the girl you like and she has the perfect hair, the perfect body, or you see the guy you like and he's 6'2" and has abs and things like that, works out in the gym all the time, that gets into your mindset. And then after it gets into your mind, it goes to your soul, and you feel like, wow, I don't look this way. Am I truly appreciated? Are people really gonna like me if I don't have blue eyes? Are people gonna like me if I'm not tall? Or people are gonna like me if I'm too tall? You know, it all goes back to your self-esteem. And society nowadays likes to jab at that. Whatever little weakness they can find in you, whatever little blemish they can find, whether that's internally or that's on your face, they're going to use that to your disadvantage. Always nitpicking and wanting you to be perfect, which no one can be. At the end of the day, those models still have problems that they feel like they have to go through in order for them still to stay on the magazines. Those male models still have problems they have to go through. They think they're not buff enough. They're still trying to please someone. And that's what we all want to do. It's human nature, is to want to please and to want to be accepted. But what we have to do as those people who want to stand against the norm in society, we have to tell everyone that it's okay to be comfortable in your own skin, and it's okay to be the way you are, whether that's physically or whether that's emotionally. A lot of times people feel like that the outside is the only thing that matters, when in reality that's not. You can be a beautiful person on the outside, but on the inside you can be gross and disgusting. And that shows what our society thinks and what teenagers thinks. A lot of times we as teenagers feel that if people see our outside and are pleased, our insides don't have to be discovered, and they don't have to be inspected. For example, say someone beautiful in high school, the most popular girl in school, she might be popular because she's beautiful, but on the inside she might be suffering and terrible because she feels like she has to hold this certain standard. She's not eating. She's not doing the necessarily things that's healthy for her body. You know, all these crazy diets that people do, you know, make themselves throw up, or the anorexic diet where you eat maybe a piece of fruit once a week. Things like that aren't healthy for your body on a normal basis. But society says it is. Society says that you need to do whatever you need to do in order to look like the model that you want to look, or in order to look like the bodybuilder that you are achieving to look toward. It not only makes your self-esteem hurt, but it makes you feel in a way that you're useless, and in a way that you can't do what the necessarily things that you need to do in order to look that way. It's very hard for teenagers specifically for them to have to go through what they feel like they need to in order for them to look that certain way. I mean, me, for my schedule, I go from school to play practice to church to volunteering to work. It's so many things. I don't have time to spend 5,000 hours in the gym in order to have the perfect body. Now, granted that America also has this mentality that we need to be obese. That's not right as well. But we also don't need to feel like we need to spend 10 hours pumping iron in the gym in order to have the certain body that you want. America's society nowadays doesn't have a gray area. I think that's the words that we need to use. It's either you have it or you don't. You're either white or black. And the black is you either look like a bodybuilder, or the white is you're obese. And you don't care about how you look. You don't care about what you eat. Or you do care about how you look and you don't eat. So it's hard to find those people in the middle who are saying, let's bridge it together. And at the end of the day, we all have the same problems when it comes back to self-esteem. Just because the person who's obese feels insecure about their weight, they're probably less than the person who's fit. He's got probably more insecurities because he has twice as many people looking at him versus the guy who's obese. And that can be a tricky situation when you feel like you are being looked at from all points of perspective. But we all feel the same. We're all humans. We all have that nature in us to be wanting to be accepted and truly wanting to have that sense of people wanting to love me. And that's where it goes to. You're not necessarily wanting to look like a model just because you want to look like a model. You want to look like a model because you want other people to look at you and to love you and idolize you. And that's what everyone wants at the end of the day, is for everyone to have their eyes on them and to be the center of attention. I mean, especially if you're coming from a situation at your home where you're not, you really want that. And that's something that we all have to strive and to work for. So thank you for listening. I'm Paul Brentley, and this is my communications video 231.